Atlanta News First Plus starts now with First Alert Weather.
Hey there, everybody. I'm First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris. Hope you're off to a good start to your Thursday. Our weather here closer to home is phenomenal, as it will be through the rest of the week. However, some breaking news here. We just got our hurricane outlook from the National Hurricane Center, from NOAA, for this upcoming hurricane season. As a reminder, hurricane season starts on June 1st, and it goes all the way through November 30th. The peak of hurricane season is typically in September, and June 1st through November 30th, those are just kind of arbitrary numbers. Basically, when it starts to heat up in the tropical waters, that is when your risk of hurricanes and tropical systems start to increase. Sometimes we get these systems developing before hurricane season starts. Doesn't look like that'll be the case this season. We're already at the end of May, and again, officially hurricane season starts on June 1st. So we're going to start to kind of take our mind there as we get closer to the summertime months. And with that, here is the official outlook. So we're forecasting 13 to 19 named storms this hurricane season in the Atlantic. The Atlantic basin includes the actual Atlantic Ocean, plus the Gulf, plus the Caribbean. So this is basically the part of the water that could impact us here in North Georgia, which is why we cover it. So 13 to 19 named storms are forecast this season. For perspective, last season we had 18 named storms. Of the 13 named storms that are forecast this season, 6 to 10 are forecast to become hurricanes, and 3 to 5 are forecast to become major hurricanes. That's a Category 3 hurricane or stronger. And I will say these numbers are fairly similar to what we saw last season. So this is the average. We typically see 14 named storms each hurricane season. We typically see 7 hurricanes, and we typically see 3 major hurricanes. So we are forecasting an above average number of named storms, potentially an above average number of hurricanes, and potentially above average number of major hurricanes this season. The makeup of this forecast is really similar to what we've seen over the past several seasons. We're sort of in this era now where the water temperatures are just almost always warm this time of year. So that's ingredient number one. The temperatures in the Atlantic basin are above average. And just as a reminder, those warmer water temperatures, it's like fuel for thunderstorm for hurricane development. So that's ingredient number one, water temperatures above average. Ingredient number two is what's forecast to be very little wind shear. So wind shear, we talk about this during hurricane season. It's when the wind changes speed and direction with height, and wind shear can help to kind of disrupt the development of tropical systems. So whenever there's a lot of wind shear, like cold fronts moving away from the United States and into the water, that can actually help to disrupt developing tropical systems. Whenever you don't have that wind shear, whenever there's nothing really interfering with the air out there, then the tropical systems that do develop can sustain themselves. So a lack of wind shear, what's at least forecast to be a lack of wind shear, is another thing that's playing into this forecast. That basically means that if a tropical system tries to develop, there's not going to be much forecast to disrupt it. And then ingredient number three this particular season is what we call the African monsoon, which is essentially storms that literally blow off the coast of Africa. Oftentimes, that's a breeding ground for our hurricanes. That activity kind of gets started off the coast of Africa. The wind will oftentimes carry that all the way over into the Caribbean and close to the U.S., and that stuff that starts off the coast of Africa, the monsoon season there, can turn into tropical systems for us. So we have above average water temperatures. We have what's forecast to be lower wind shear this season, and we have an active African monsoon. So all of those ingredients combine to give us what should be an above average season. Again, for perspective, last season we had 18 named storms. Typically we see 14. In this particular season, we're forecasting anywhere from 13 to 19 named storms, which would take us above that average of 14. So that is what we're looking at for hurricane season. Again, we're not actually watching anything right now that would impact us here in North Georgia or the United States for that matter. Hurricane season doesn't start until June 1st. But what you'll notice is as we actually get into hurricane season, we're going to start posting a lot more updates in the First Alert Weather app for you, whether they impact us or not. you're going to start seeing a lot more content about hurricanes in the tropics this upcoming summer as we actually get into hurricane season. It's a good idea, a good reminder to download that First Alert Weather app. Make sure that's on your phone. But again, we're not really tracking anything in the tropics right now. We're not even technically in the season yet, but that outlook just released here recently. So there you go. Those are the numbers again. An above average season is expected. In addition to the tropics, we also have our own weather, which will be heating up here over the upcoming Memorial Day weekend. Today and tomorrow is phenomenal. We'll start to see some changes on Saturday, but Saturday does still look like the better day this weekend. Sunday, the rain chances start to increase, and then they really increase on Memorial Day itself and next Tuesday. So we do have first alerts for Memorial Day and Tuesday. Have a backup plan on Memorial Day. And First Alert meteorologist Ella Dorsey, she's working on an updated forecast for you right now. She'll have that on Atlanta News First at noon. You can always find your forecast in our First Alert Weather app. And we hope you guys have a great Thursday. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Stay up to date on your latest weather from the largest team of meteorologists in the Southeast. Download the First Alert Weather app for hour-by-hour forecasts and join us every weekday at 11:30 a.m. on ANF+. You can also text weather to the number on your screen, and we'll send a link directly to your cell phone.